Welcome everyone, my name is Brendan Snyder. Thank you for joining me. If you're new to my channel and you haven't already hit the subscribe button, please click the button for me. Also leave a comment, hit like, all those things help support my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And as an added bonus, you'll be able to stay up to date on all that's going on in the world of music. Just like this, we're going to take a look at the brand new Neil Young Archives Volume 2 box set. And I'm going to get into all that in just a second here. It was released on November 20th of 2020, and this deluxe edition of it, or I should say is a deluxe edition of what will be a standard edition that's going to be released in March of 2021. This one here was only available on Neil's website, and it was limited to 3,000 copies that sold out the first day. Cost of this one was $250. The standard edition will be $150 approximately. So this is the second in the series of his archives that he's doing. The first one you can see there behind me. That one spanned from 1963 until 1973. And so this one here, Volume 2, covers a 3.5-year period that is from mid-1972 until 1976. And it just goes to show you that with this thing being 10 discs in here, how prolific Neil was during this time. I mean, he's always been prolific. We know that. He puts out albums sometimes every 4 to 6 months, give or take. But this period here was particularly prolific for him. And so it contains 10 discs that are in here. Now, 3 of these discs have previously been released. These 3 here, I'm going to get into that in just a moment. There's 131 total tracks on here. There are some duplicates, but they are different versions and they're spaced throughout. So none that are right next to one another, like that sort of a thing. So it makes for a nice flow and good listening on here. 63 of these tracks are previously unreleased. There's alternate versions, different mixes, live versions, and unreleased songs themselves. Now, 12 of these tracks have never been released in any form. And I'll put a little caveat next to that and say that I think it's more like 10, and I'll get into that too in just a moment. Running through those 12 tracks though, we've got Letter from Nam. That's off of the Everybody's Alone, the first disc in this series, which covers 72 to 73, and that's a solo track in here. Then we've got Come Along and Say You Will. It's a Stray Gators track, also off the first disc. Goodbye Christmas on the Shore, that one also from the first disc and is a Stray Gators song. And then Sweet Joni, again from the first disc, and that one's a solo track. It's a nice piano ballad. Then we've got Raised on Robbery, and this one here is from the Tonight's the Night disc, 1973, and it features Joni Mitchell on this one. Now, this is where I was going to put the caveat, because she did later release a version of this on her album, Court and Sparks, so a version of it has been out, just not with Neil on it. And then Home Fires from the old Homestead 1974 disc. This one is a solo track. LA Girls and Ocean Boys. This one is also from the old Homestead 1974 solo. We've got actually 2 more from that disc, Frozen Man and Daughters, both of those being solo tracks. Then Born to Run, which is on the Doom album that's part of the box set, 1975. It features Crazy Horse. Then Separate Ways, this is Look Out for My Love, which covers the period 75 to 76. And this one is with the Stills Young Band. Now this is the other one that I put the caveat on, because it was released as part of Homegrown, which was unreleased all the way up for 45 years, up until just recently it came out. But they are listing that one as a unreleased track in any one of its forms. And then Mediterranean, which is also from the Look Out for My Love 1975 to 76 and disc, and it's a solo performance. All right, so the box set itself, and I'm going to get into the discs and everything. I'll go a little bit more into the albums, but I just wanted you guys to see how beautiful this is. And so, as you can see, it starts spelling out Neil's name, Young, all the way around like that. But this thing is beautifully done with all the archival stuff. I also like how they've worked into it, the stating of the Neil Young Archives Volume 2 all the way on it. And the top of it's just gorgeous itself. This thing is really, really well done. The box just lifts off. It's a magnetic top, so nothing falls out of it, which is really nice. And it pops up like that. And again, you get some really nice archival material right there. And then you can see the book, there's a poster, and the 10 discs that are inside there. And I'm going to go into those now. So starting with disc 1 in here, this disc here, this is the Everybody's Alone disc, and it covers from 1972 to 73. This one was recorded in the wake of Harvest, and it contains the most unreleased tracks of all the discs on here. Actually, only 2 of these have been previously released. So there's the front cover of it, the inside, and then the back of it. And all of the discs are just in here like standard, you know, vinyl replica sleeves kind of thing. Nothing protective on them, but they're in there like that. The standard way that Neil has released albums. Then disc 2 is the Tuscaloosa disc from 1973, live performance. This is the previously unreleased one with the Stray Gators. But I wanted to be able to show you this. So this is the one from the box set, and this is the store version. So it does have an alternate album cover, and it is presented slightly different on the back side as well. So here's the inside of that. And as I was just showing you the back side of that one. Okay, and then disc 3 is called Tonight's the Night. Now this one here is not just a straight, you know, rehashing of the original album itself. It's a retelling with interspersed alternate versions and unreleased tracks in it. And the interesting thing is that this is from 1973, but the actual album itself wasn't released until 1975. So it's good to finally get that version of the disc that was recorded all at that time. Okay, the next one up is the Roxy's Tonight the Night live performance from 1973. And this is another one that was released. Here's the store version and here's the disc version. I actually like the album cover from the store better, but just again to show you the slightly different artwork to it. Sorry, and then open the inside of that there and the back side of it. And this one was with the Santa Monica Flyers as his backing band on this one here. All right, so next up the disc is Walk On. And it's 1973 to 74. And this one here covers the period from On the Beach album, which you can see that's an alternate of the original On the Beach. There's the inside of it and the back side of it. And so this one here features the original track Traces on it, and it's also got a full band version of Bad Fog of Loneliness on it, which is really cool. And then this one here was pretty interesting. So for a long time, Neil has closed his shows with the English folk song Green Sleeves, but he's never done a studio version of it, and that finally appears on this disc as the last track. So cool way to get a hold of that now. And then disc 6 is called The Old Homestead. It's 1974. This one here is actually thought to be what would have been a companion album to Homegrown, which is the disc 7, and I'll get into that in a minute. But this one that was described at the time would have been a companion called Home Fires, of which that's one of the tracks that appears on here. And it also contains songs that were intended for a Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young reunion that didn't materialize at the time. And then, as I was mentioning, the next disc, disc 7, is the Homegrown, which is 1974 to 75. And so this one here, as I said, previously went unreleased for 45 years, sitting in the vaults. Now, it was recorded after 1974's On the Beach and before 1975's Zuma, 1975 Zuma sessions. But as I said, instead of releasing this, and it sat in the vaults for 45 years, he chose to release Tonight's the Night that had been recorded 2 years earlier in 1973. So pretty interesting how all that worked out and the way that Neil operates on those sort of things. And just to show you this, so this is the inside of the store version, whereas this is the inside of the box set version. So difference in terms of that, otherwise they do have the same album cover on them. Now disc 8 is in particular my favorite out of all of these. This is Doom. And this one here is 1975, and it was named after Neil Young's house in Malibu, California. And as you can see from the art on this, this is recorded during the time of Zuma, or the period of Zuma. And it's great to finally hear all of the Crazy Horse songs that were recorded during that session as one album. I like Zuma, but there were some inconsistencies, in my opinion, just in terms of the different backing groups that he used throughout it. And I always wondered, where were the rest of those tracks? And we're finally getting them here on Doom. So this one here in particular, I really, really enjoy it. It just flows all the way through on this one, and is, personally my favorite one of the set that's here. All right, disc 9 in here is called Look Out for My Love. This is another really interesting one. It spans the period 75 up till 76, and it contains performances from Crazy Horse, but also Stills Young Band, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, and then some solo stuff in there, and those Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young tunes. So some of these later were released, but he had wiped the vocals from the band version off it, so you're finally getting those on here, and really cool to finally get those tracks. And again, this is one of those discs that out of the box set, the Walk On disc, the Doom, and this disc here, I just think are the three best discs in there that have the best flow start to finish on them. And then the final one in here is another good one, and this one is the Odin Budokan performance from 1976. It's a previously unreleased live show that's got the resurrected Crazy Horse at that point. And again, a really cool set list, 10 tracks on this one, hearing them perform that all the way through. And so, as I was showing you before, the box set, but in here we've got the book version that's in here, and we've also got the poster that's in here. And so let me start with the poster. This in here is the file cabinet poster that was similar to the one that he did in the last one. I don't think I can quite get the whole thing in here, but it goes through and it shows all the handwritten folders and everything that are part of what make up his files. But the thing that is really cool about this is the book that it comes with, and this is a fabric bound leather corner, a hardback book that's just really well done, also made to look aged. It's got a lot of great archival shots. Look at those photos that are in this thing here. Just really well done. It doesn't have a history or track by track review or anything like that in here, and that's a part of it is a little disappointing. I do wish that Neil had gone into each of the tracks and where they came from and memories and that sort. But there are a lot of articles in here, so there's plenty of reading, handwritten lyrics and things like that and stuff, alternate album cover shots. And so it really does cover the whole period in here, and it's beautifully done. And then in the back of this, we've got, let me thumb through it and find it. There's a partial tape archives that are listed in here. And then there's also track by track rundown of who performs on it and when it was recorded and stuff like that. And then the other cool thing is that in the back of this, there is a fold out timeline that's in here that explains where the stuff comes from. And so you do get a little bit more information, stuff like that throughout. And this book, in my opinion, is what really makes this box set special, and that will not be coming with the standard edition that will be coming out later in March. So this, as you can see, is a monumental box set. Even though it includes 3 discs that have already been released or just recently released, there's still so much unreleased material worth exploring within this thing. And, as I said, capturing one of Neil's most prolific periods. And now what's great is that it's finally within the context. And so all of that stuff that we had heard, those albums that had all these different backing groups and things on them, they're finally put in the context of when they were recorded. And so I highly, highly recommend this for all Neil Young fans. I think it's really fantastic. As I mentioned, if you were not able to get one of these deluxe editions from the website, he is releasing a standard edition March 5th. Amazon currently has it listed for $160. So if that's more in your budget line, I do recommend picking that up. All right, hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you did, Please remember to comment. Let me know your thoughts on this. If you got a version of this or you know something special about it, let me know. This was the amount of stuff that I knew on it and the information that I was able to dig up on it. But certainly I'm sure there's some real diehard Neil fans out there that can probably shed even more light on this stuff. All right, as I said, hope you guys enjoyed this. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you all real soon. Bye-bye.